In this episode of Healthcare Heartbeat, it is part 2 of our very special Daisy Award Spotlight. And to celebrate Nurses Week, I'm sitting down with Rachel Clark. She is Avant Healthcare Professionals' very first recipient of the Nurse Educator Award.
You are listening to Healthcare Heartbeat, brought to you by Avant Healthcare Professionals.
I'm here with Daisy Award-winning Rachel Clark. I just learned on the streets, you're known as RC.
Mm-hmm.
That's
your
your in Avant code name, maybe.
If you know me, that's my name.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
what a thing. You're coming in with a nickname and some street cred.
Yeah.
First time on this podcast, someone's bringing some of that street cred. That's great. That's good because I have none.
You got to represent.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So can you talk, before we get into this, I would like for you to talk a little bit about your role here at Avant.
I am a registered nurse, and I help the nurses that come here from out of the country, and I kind of get them used to the differences, the bridges that might be not what they're used to, but they are U.S. expectations. So they come in, we do like a little bit of a transition program, and we go through all the expectations of what it is to be a nurse here in the U.S. And we run through that, and I do that with Jen Blocker and Diana Mears and Charmaine Wilshire.
And so truly bridging the knowledge gap, if you will, right? The skills are there, but it sounds like it's kind of that, you always have that baseline level of skills.
Right.
We've actually recorded a podcast talking about the difference between working internationally and working in the U.S.
Right.
And you're a key figure
Yeah.
in helping our healthcare professionals who are coming here, who have the base level of nursing acumen and skill and care, but those almost like sometimes subtle nuances. And maybe in some cases, not so subtle nuances, right?
Well, sometimes they come in, and the doctor has a lot of different expectations versus what their expectations are. So some come in, they've never done a full assessment, or they've never used our equipment to insert an IV. It's very different, just even down to the equipment. So we're kind of getting them used to that, what they're going to expect and what is the expectation. So we get them like nice and comfortable and feeling confident, and then we send them on assignment.
Yeah, the fastest way to failure is a misalignment of expectations.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think what you do is that you help to set that standard for our healthcare professionals to what to really kind of expect when they go into work in a U.S. healthcare facility. Right. So we're here today because, we want to celebrate her. She she's pretty great. And she recently won a Daisy Award. Yeah. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But actually, before we do that, we caught up with one of your coworkers.
Oh, boy.
And got a video talking about why she nominated you for the Daisy Award.
She did.
So we want to play that video real quick, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Her going above and beyond, does that surprise you at all that she went above and beyond?
No, not at all. Not at all. Since she's come to Avant, she really did jump in and really immerse herself as an educator. And her first, what she is dedicated to is the nurses that she works with. And her number one priority is for them to be the best nurse that they can be. I was really excited for her. As they started reading the story, even though I had written it, I knew what was coming. I still teared up a little bit, and she looked at me and I looked at her, and I just kind of smiled and winked because she knew it was her. It was a very specific story. She knew pretty quickly that it was her, but it was great to see her go up there and then to see her husband and son coming in, because I had to do a little bit of work also to help get them there. So it was a lot of fun, and it was really gratifying to see someone that I know loves what she does and cares so much about what she does to be recognized for that. I would just like to tell Rachel how proud I am of you. It's been amazing to watch you grow as an educator, as a new mom, as just in every way. It's been fun. It's been amazing. You make me laugh every day, but I've also learned a lot from you, and watching you with our HCPs just fills me with this sense of awe and this sense of pride. And I couldn't be more proud to have you as a member of our department.
Someone cutting onions in here?
Yeah,
oh my
right?
God.
I did not wear the right mascara for this.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you are the first recipient at Avant for the Nurse Educator Award. How does that feel?
I mean, there's a lot of emotions that are like excited, very humbled. I think the most is just like kind of just like that validation of like that passion that I really, really enjoy teaching these nurses. And it's just cool to have that just at random given to you. And you're just like, I'm not, I'm a nobody, whatever. And it's just really cool. It's really cool. It's very humbling, and it's awesome.
So when you were a nurse, right?
Yeah.
And then you obviously transitioned into this role, and maybe there were some things in between. Yeah. I'm not sure, but perhaps. Okay. Right. But on that path, right? Mm-hmm. Did you think, leaving Bedside is challenging, but I'm sure it's incredibly fulfilling. Did you think that something like this was even out there? I mean,
no, I really didn't. I was definitely thinking about how to further my education as a nurse. I was thinking CRNA, I was thinking nurse practitioner, and I also was thinking nurse educator, because I really loved precepting when I was at the bedside and helping either student nurses or brand new nurses, and just like I would just be like, yeah, let's get them in here. Let's get their hands dirty. Let's go. And so I really liked it. And then just an opportunity showed up, and I was like, yeah, let me try nurse education. And it just like solidified exactly what I felt. And it's hard to get that same fulfillment from bedside, because bedside, you're working directly. Your decisions are affecting that patient directly. So it was hard leaving that.
Yeah, I think impact is different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But, when you're working bedside, there is a much more, I would say, kind of one-to-one impact on care. But when you take a step back and look at your educator role, you literally now are exponentially impacting care.
It's like 2 hands to like thousands of hands. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's something I think clearly resonates with your coworkers. I think very clearly resonates with the people who work with you, right? What's been the biggest challenge in that transition from being bedside to being an educator?
Biggest challenge, I think, is to kind of, when you get into the flow of nursing, you understand the rationales, you understand why we're doing certain techniques, why we're doing this. But then like breaking it down from the beginning, it's like kind of getting out of the routine and restarting a new one. So when we're talking about like inserting a Foley, I would be like, all right, this is how you insert a Foley. But then like I'd be like, okay, I have to explain why we're doing this, why we're using sterile technique, why we're, we have to avoid, all the rationales behind it. So that was a challenge.
And I would imagine, too, it's even taking that extra level and extra care to break down each step, because you are working with nurses who have not necessarily come up through the same system as maybe a nurse who's a recent grad or something like that.
But they have that experience as a nurse, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's a range, right? I mean, when you are training Avant nurses, that class could be full of people who were in the Philippines and Kenya, that kind of thing, right? It's a diverse class.
Yeah, no, it's everybody.
Yeah.
We get it from all different countries and one group at a time. Yeah.
Do you find there is one particular aspect of the training that the nurses kind of either enjoy, and then second off, struggle with?
A lot of nurses come in and they're not very familiar with EKG. I would say EKG interpretation is not something that it's usually you look at the strip, you hand it to the doctor. That's most of the places. So pretty much almost everybody come in and they hate EKG. They hate it. And I find it as a challenge.
Sure.
I'm like, by the time we're done with this,
you're gonna
love it.
You convert them.
Yeah,
they
you're
become
gonna love
EKG
it.
evangelists.
Yeah. And so that's one of the things that I teach is EKG, and I love seeing them at the end, and they're just like, oh my gosh, I love it. I can't wait. So I do really enjoy that, and seeing them say, when I say, all right, who ready to talk about EKG? Everybody's like, oh my God. And I'm just like, challenge accepted. You're going to love it.
All the look arounds and the eye rolls.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't. Please don't.
We make it fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. What's been for you maybe one of the most kind of memorable moments in being a nurse educator at Avant?
There's quite a bit. I definitely, the story that got me the daisy was on an HCP that was on a CVICU assignment, and that's the acuity that I kind of come from as a bedside nurse. Mm-hmm. And I worked with her just a lot, and just trying to get her to retain her assignment, and watching her grow through that, and there was a lot of hands in the pot. It wasn't just me. There was a lot of hands in the pot. And watching her grow and becoming confident, and like going from, I don't think I should be here, to, oh my gosh, I love it. Wow. And because I went through that same transition when I merged over to CVICU. I was like, this is not for me. And then as I stayed and I kind of stuck it out, I was like, oh, I love it. And you just become such a strong nurse once you get the hang of it. So I was really proud of her. That was a cool moment. So
when the nurses come in, generally speaking, is there a lot of the nervousness? Right?
There is a lot of nervousness, because we kind of hit them fast and we hit them hard with a lot of stuff.
Sure.
And they're just like, oh my gosh. But I mean, by the end of it, they're excited for their assignment. They're sad to leave. It's a lot at first, but it is just stick with it. Just like with CVICU, stick it out, and you'll be such a stronger nurse for it by the end of it. That's all I can say.
What's your favorite part of doing this?
I would definitely have to say working with the other instructors. Yeah. I love working with Jen and Diana. They're so much fun. And we have such a good partnership that we just like trade off. And Charmaine, she does the OR, and it just the four of us like running through. It's a good camaraderie that we have, and we have fun. We have a lot of fun.
Too, I feel like that's something that also can pay huge dividends if we flash back to working bedside, right? Yeah. Camaraderie among your team,
right?
I feel like is a factor, right? It's something that is a factor for those healthcare facilities out there who are looking to hire. Yeah, that the grander aspect, if you will, of culture. Yeah, too. And I think by extension, seeing that here at Avant and seeing how healthy that is. Right? Prepares our nurses, or at least says, okay, I can come into this. I see how this can be. They see the potential, right? And I think it also helps to probably alleviate some of those nerves. Right?
Yeah. And that's the thing is that, when you go onto these units and you are brand new, you've never been there before, you kind of have to create a found family.
Sure.
And seeing that with us, that they can absolutely do it. Any unit that you go to, you can have that found family. Yeah. And then you get your work wife or your work husband, and then it's just like even better. Your whole shift is better. So
having that success or experience for the first time with us, with Avant, then prepares them to be confident and to be able and to be ready for when they enter the workforce.
Right.
So, well, I just want to say again, we are, as a company, so thankful to have you and the team that works with you and people just like you all around the company who are engaged, who are invested, who care,
want to be here.
Because that's the thing. in reviewing and talking to people about this particular Nurse Educator Award for you just kept floating to the top, kept coming up, right? Engaged, that you care, people love working with you. And so I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for all that you do for Avant, but also for all of our healthcare professionals.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's my passion. It's at the end of the day, it is my passion. It's part of my identification. Like, I am a nurse and I will be a nurse first always. So no problem.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening. This has been Healthcare Heartbeat by Avant Healthcare Professionals, the leader in international healthcare staffing and recruitment, where we change the lives of healthcare professionals every day. To learn more about how our healthcare professionals can help your facility, visit AvantHealthcare.com and be sure to subscribe to this show wherever you get your podcasts.